Welcome to my heart. I come from the mountain of the Lord, and I come to you as your tutor, beloved hearts. I will tutor your souls this night, that you might receive Alpha and Omega, with the maximum light focused in the crown chakra. Therefore, the legions of the second ray and all who are the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas are beginning to stream to this very heart, cleansed now by the rain of some ancient records that must be removed, and a little at a time they are removed, beloved, year upon year, as the light you invoke does penetrate, and as elemental life do cooperate. It is the consideration of the Council of the Royal Teton and the Darjeeling Council that it is necessary for you to prepare more adequately to receive the light of Alpha and Omega and of Helios and Vesta. Therefore, we request that you concentrate on the decrees of the second ray and weave them in a braid with a violet flame, supporting this matrix with your judgment calls and pillars of blue flame from the heart of Hercules and Astraea, Archangel Michael and Syria. Blessed ones, this preparation shall allow you to take and hold more light, light for the illumination of a world. For a new day has dawned, and that new day, beloved, is the coming of age of many souls of light who will reach the point of the crown chakra as you raise up the sacred fire yourselves and hold that focus for the opening of the crown. Jophiel and Christine contribute mightily to the dispensation of illumination, and I think, beloved ones, that you do not give enough attention, even in the singing of the hymn to Jophiel and Christine. For they do come and they do tarry, beloved, and they will saturate you in yellow fire. They will do much more if you will consider them and reread their dictations. You will discover that they have mentioned the clearing of the planet of many conditions of ignorance and all manner of burden upon the people, but for your dedication to their activity. We have therefore placed on the cassette of the Archangel Michael's songs these songs to the beings of the yellow ray. Let them ring in your hearts and in your headsets, so that you may have streams and ribbons of yellow fire coming down, imparting hope to the nations, hope to your own beating heart. We of the Council of the Royal Teton are aware of the opening of mighty vortices of light from the central sun, and the opening of the hearts and the minds, yet how the brains of the people of this planet need a scrubbing, how the sacred fire of the mother must be focused and employed by you for this distillation, for this cleansing, beloved. The yellow flame is a purifying fire. We desire to see the Christ mind congruent with the lower mind, yet vessels must be emptied, and it is a fasting not only of food, but it is a fasting from the entertainment of the world and the continual bombardment of the mind by the rhythms which are not rhythms at all, but are arhythmic. So, beloved, to use the minds of the people, we call upon you and all elemental life, and especially the body elementals of the people, to engage in that decree work whereby many may come into a true illumination of their own consciousness, their own being, their own life stream, their own tie to God. How can the people perceive the kingdom of God within them if that kingdom is so cluttered with the debris of the centuries? Beloved ones, you may know and you may have heard this before, but I speak in the context of a world in transition. And unless the minds of the light bearers and of the children be quickened, where shall we find the planetary home? You can see through the schemes of the politicians and those who represent you in the offices of government. This nation is in a crisis of confidence, and many do not even dare to run for office again, so convinced are they that their constituents will not elect them. Truly it is the hour of the raising up of the feminine ray, and may the woman who does come forth to represent the people be blessed, and let the man who does come forth be blessed, and let them both raise up the light of the feminine ray, for only thereby will the true God solution to the world problems be found, beloved, will it be known. We come for the education of the heart as well as the mind. We come with gladness that so many students desire to study at Summit University and who have answered the call of Kuan Yin to come to learn and teach the children. Surely it is an hour when wisdom is exploding everywhere and the hunger for the knowledge of God is everywhere. And where shall they go for that water which they may drink, which will give to them everlasting life? Tell them, I say to you, tell them of the Christ that lives in the heart. Tell them of the soul that must rise. Tell them of the kingdom of God, and of the world in transition, and of the hour and the day when the mountains shall shake, and the trembling of the earth shall come, and there shall be the melting of the elements with a mighty fervent heat, and the alchemy of a world shall come about. Let that alchemy and that quaking and shaking begin where you are. Let it begin, therefore, for the settling and the leveling and the leavening of consciousness. Let there be the repolarization of every life stream upon this planet to the great central sun magnet. Come forth, O legions of light. Now behold with your inner eye how rings upon rings of angels of the yellow flame do congregate. And so the legions of holy Justinius, captain of seraphic bands, do come with their rings upon rings of white fire. And therefore we are building in this place, beloved ones, a replica of the great causal body. And we begin with a white fire core of the seraphim of God, who established their fount of light in the great central sun. And the legions of the yellow ray come, and therefore the first two spheres of the causal body are being established over this place. And these two spheres, beloved, relate to certain evolutions, certain key life streams who must make their ascension through the victory of those spheres and those worlds and those preparations that they long ago received in those quadrants of the great causal body of God in the great central sun. Therefore, as we lay down this replica of the great central sun magnet during this conference, you will find that there will be an awakening within your soul of your experiences in the heart of the great central sun with your twin flame in the beginning. And therefore you will remember why you have come, what you were sent to do, what was the point of your origin and destiny. See then how nestled in the white fire core of Alpha and Omega, you were born, sons and daughters of God, mated to go forth to bring the full complement of the Father-Mother to the evolutions whom you would reach. It is time to go back to that point of origin, to begin the whole round all over again, and to retrace it almost as with a computer of the mind of God, to go through light years of the descent of the soul, finally to these octaves, to trace your footsteps, and then to engage in the reverse, and to return all the way back to that point of origin. Thus, in going to the center, in coming out from the center and going unto it again, you are weaving the mighty cosmic daisy, and you are seeing the increase and the adding unto of your being, unto the I am that I am, of these mighty rings of light. They are vast, beloved. The rings of light incorporate the entire cosmos, and yet that individualized causal body you can relate to as a mighty sphere above you. Is not this the wondrous activity of our God, beloved? Is it not the action whereby the living Christ does reach out to save that which is lost? Thus out of the fiery purity of your original blueprint, go forth in to the golden yellow sphere and reactivate the mind of God within you, and allow the fat upon the brain to be removed and dissolved until the brain itself glistens like crystal and is able to coalesce the white fire of God, of your holy Christ self. What a worthy goal, what a joyous goal, to empty the pockets of the cells of every organ of the body and every atom of those organs. What a joy, beloved, to find yourself being restored to the Adam Kadmon. Yes, beloved ones, the original matrix of perfect man and perfect womb man. To return to that point, beloved, will allow you to bring forth again original root races and life streams who also go back to that etheric blueprint and have been denied it and therefore have not entered into embodiment. I speak also of the seventh root race. Now then, for the turning around of worlds, let the physical bodies be prepared. Let the desire bodies be prepared. Let the etheric body be prepared. Let the mental body be prepared. Beloved souls of light, hear my call in this hour. Hear my awakening. Even as I take hold of the giant sheet that does traverse a cosmos, and I shake it, beloved, and the waves go forth, the waves of illumination, the waves of white fire purity, preceded then by legions of the violet flame and of the blue lightning and of the ruby ray, who are clearing the cosmos for the descent of the sons and daughters of God. There are so very many who desire to descend to this level for the rescue mission of the Christs and the Bodhisattvas. They are in place, beloved. Now we come to see that you are in place and that you understand how to seek the refinement of the Spirit. I am Lanto, Chohan of the second ray. I come on behalf of the Royal Teton Council, and I come on behalf of Alpha and Omega. I plead with you, let not this nation go down in ignorance for a failure to educate the children in the true things of the Spirit and to set the geometry of the material universe in right programs of education, that they might be vessels for a greater science, a greater sound of music, and discoveries and dispensations that may be channeled through them, because, beloved, you have laid the foundation and given them the proper teaching as well as the education of the heart. Let there be the turning around, beloved, for you know there does come a time in the downward degeneration, whether of a body or an organ, when it simply fulfills itself in the death spiral. There is a time to turn a world around, and there is time when it is no longer possible. I say you have come to the point on this day and date wherein it is possible to turn the world around. And yet I say to you, insert a mighty momentum of fervent prayer into the earth in this place to start that spiral, to make yourselves congruent with Elohim. For unless you do, beloved, there may not come another opportunity. How long can Elohim therefore hold back the avalanche of the descent of civilizations worldwide? You are seeing it everywhere. Do not become ho-hum about what you see, for what you see is truly the most dangerous aspect of a world in transition, and instead of going up a world then going into self-disintegration. Look all around you and see the bodies and minds that are disintegrating. Know whereof I speak, and know that it is the angels of the second ray that must come in your name and by your call for the mighty quickening of the people. For their ears, their minds, their hearts, their eyes have waxed dull, and they no longer see cause related to effect, and effect related to cause. I cry out for enlightenment, and for the enlightened ones to decree for that enlightenment unto all who can potentially carry it, namely the Christ bearers, the children of the light, and all who will come into the camp and determine once and for all to be servants of God. I have made a plea to you, beloved, perhaps not as great as I would have liked to, but I must speak as I speak from my heart, and I must tell you that to burden you anymore, or to burden the counsels of the brotherhood anymore, would perpetuate my delivery too long. Therefore I cast out a flame of hope. I cast out cloven tongues of yellow fire, and they sit upon you, one and all, on the crown chakra, as though it were the day of Pentecost. And yet it is not. It is the day of the coming of the lords of the second ray. It is the day of the coming of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. It is the day of the coming, beloved ones, of a commitment and a promise that must be on both sides. I ask you to give attention to the yellow ray and see what you can do to awaken America. I am Lanto, always very near to you in the quietness of wisdom's flame.